Hi everyone, how you guys doing? My name is Queen's Thief here, and this is my first video for my YouTube channel, Arcade Thief. And in this channel, I'll be posting my videos of myself gaming. I've been playing Starcraft 2 and other games for quite a while now, and I like to share these games with you guys. So today we'll be playing an arcade game in Starcraft. If you guys of you who've played Starcraft, you'll know that you got your multiplayer games, your ranked matches, and then you have all the different arcade games that different creators have made in Starcraft that are quite a bit of fun to play. So over the years, I've played a bunch of different games on the arcade. Primarily, I like to play Marine Arena, right over here. I enjoy this game quite a bit. It's pretty relaxing. It's quite a bit of fun. You're fighting with large armies against each other. Here, let me just look at it here. So for you guys who haven't played this game, how it works is that you have 4 teams of 2, and you have units, Marines, spawning from your command center, and then you can choose one other unit to spawn. And then by your unit compositions, and then by upgrading your troops, and then there's special units, very powerful units called elite units, and then there's heroes that you can get. And it's kind of a constant battling for positioning with your friend against other people. And you get money, you get minerals, pardon me, as you kill your opponent's guys. So if I kill as a Marine, say I get 2 minerals from that. So if I'm taking better trades, I'll slowly develop, I'll have more money than they have, and I'll better upgrade. So that's kind of the general concept of the game. And again, I'll be playing this and other games, primarily StarCraft 2. If you guys want to see me play other games, just post in the comments. I have also like playing Mountain Blade Bannerlord. I don't know if you guys have played that. It's kind of a fun, how do I describe it? It's kind of a fun medieval game, so you're fighting with like knights and archers and cavalry, and you can play against your friends online, or you can play against armies of computers, and there's a single player campaign. So I like playing that now and again, so I might post a video of that as well. But again, let's get into a game, and let's start off tonight. Okay, let's get this going. As you can see, I have a lot of friends here. In this game, it's like in any game, it's good to have a good ally, but particularly in this game because it's really all about positioning, which you'll see as when we open the map. So when you have a good ally who knows what he's doing, he'll be able to cover for you, so that you can attack and defend in certain areas. But yeah. So again, this is my first video for Arcade Thief. My name's Queen's Thief, and let's get going as this lobby fills up. My brother is actually on too. Let's see if I can find him. Where is he? There we go. Boot Beckendorf. He's doing a 1v1. And I like playing 1v1s. I'll do it time and again. I am Diamond 3, so I did play for a bit. This is my 2v2s with my brother. We're in Diamond 2 right now. And 1v1s are quite a bit of fun, but it just takes a lot of dedication. Just learning certain builds, you're learning how to macro. Okay, looks like we're going to start here. Oh, confident. This is one of my friends. He has a little bit of a mouth, so I sometimes avoid playing with him, but this should be fun playing against him. And let's see what happens. So for you guys who haven't played Marine Arena, I'll kind of talk a little bit about some of the gameplay. I've already described it a little bit, and just some basic things, some basic builds that you can start off with. It's not very complicated as far as choosing units, but it does take a lot of micro, which makes it fun. KGL Jeff. Suck confident. Let's do this. So, again, as I was saying earlier, you spawn guys from your command center, and then from that's your mercenary building. I personally have been going an upgraded form of the Stalker called the Lancer, which I'll be getting later on. And you can get a bunch of different units, and I'll kind of show this as I have time. There's not too much happening right now. So let's see here. So you can get Zealot, Zerglings. These are called sharpshooters. Marauders, and I'll just quickly go by here. I need to keep playing. There's about 16 different mercenaries that you can get. So you will always be spawning your Marines and then your mercenary unit. You can choose to actually stop spawning one of them. And the reason for that is you can only upgrade one unit at a time. So it seems pretty obvious, but again, you have your Marine upgrades here, and these are your mercenary, and these are your heroes. So they only affect those things. So say, like in this game, I'm going to choose to upgrade my Stalkers first, and then I'm going to get a more powerful form of the Stalker, which I'll show you guys in a bit. So I'm eventually going to actually stop spawning my Marines altogether, which there are some disadvantages to that, because then I'll have a smaller army, but my army will consist of just my stronger units. And if you notice, I was destroying these rocks and then taking this tower. So this gives me sight over a pretty big area. And it's really important to have this, because now I can tell, like I can see him here, I can see my friend down here. I can kind of see where everyone's units are. That way I can know when to go in and take an engagement. When you don't have these towers, then it's really dangerous fighting, because it's easy to get flanked and surrounded, and then you can just lose your whole army for nothing. Oop, got a split. The guy's battlecruiser. Looks like he's auto-canning me. Okay, that wasn't bad. And as you can see, there's a lot of instant action right away. That's part of the reason I like playing this game. A lot of different units out, so it's a lot of different ways to play. It makes it fun. Try to keep your tower. So again, I want to make sure that he keeps his tower so that we can see what's happening on his side of the map. Okay, so I'm going to take a little engagement here. So when you're fighting in this game, it's really important to think about getting the right concave. So there's a little bit of obstacles and kind of ramps and stuff in this map. This is the main middle area that everybody will be fighting with. So, for instance, if I chose just, I see him, we're kind of dancing back and forth. If I chose just to charge up that ramp, I would lose all my stuff, and he would probably, I would kill a few of his units, but he would take a significantly better engagement than myself, because more of his units would be attacking at once. So he would have this ring of units attacking, and I would only have a small group of mine. So even, for instance, he could have, let me rephrase this. I could have better upgrades. I could have better upgrades, a bigger army, and just to be more powerful in general, but more of his units would be attacking at once, so that his army would just defeat mine. So I just took an engagement there. You did see he did kill my army. I kind of underestimated how much he actually had. It wasn't too bad. But again, you really just want to be thinking about when you play this game, not throwing your units away. You really want to get to a bigger army. That way you can just completely demolish smaller armies more easily. When you have a smaller group of units like this, it's harder to actually pounce on people. And also another thing, like for instance, my friend's going down this side right now. This is when I would either stay in this area right here or go to the middle. That way he doesn't get flanked. If we both went down this side, they could come in from a couple different angles, and we would just get completely flanked and lose. So I'm going to take a little engagement in the middle. There are a lot of units there, but it's still worth it because they're different people fighting each other. So they're going to kind of dance around themselves, and then that means I can kind of get in it, get a few shots off. So if you notice this side, I'm checking his record real fast. There's all these numbers here. This is the bounty. This is the amount of money that you have. So if you're noticing, as I kill a few of his units, I'm getting, you see the +2, +4, and that is the minerals that I'm getting and accumulating, and that shows up here. So this is just a quick way to see who's actually winning the game. Because again, the person who has more money will have better upgrades, better units, and they'll just be able to take better fights against people, and you know, it's just a good way to tell if you're actually winning. Okay, this was a good fight here. he was running away. Yeah, that was Roar Blaster. He was running away from him. So he kind of had to jump in the middle when he didn't want to, and I was able to just pounce on his troops. So we're doing pretty good. So my friend, he got this very cool looking unit called the Odin. It's basically just a big Thor. So if you've played normal Starcraft 2, you'll know that the Thor, it's a mech unit that you can get. Okay, I'm going to fight right here. We're just going to go right now. Whoa, that's a lot of zealots. So I'm just going to walk right back. Blink, 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 blink. Okay, that was not very good. I did not realize he had that many units over there. Not that big of a deal. It's still a pretty close game. But, just got to be careful. So in a scenario like this, he has a lot of melee units I have ranged. I'm not going to want to fight him in a big open area where more of his units can be fighting at once. I just kind of want to fight him, kind of kite him back in a tight choke like this, so that I'm making use of my ranged ability. Like right now, I'm just going to fight, kite back a little bit, move back, move back, move back. And if he wants to keep fighting, he's going to lose. Oh, dang it. So if you notice, a bunch of my guys just died. That was from his Yamato cannon, from that battle cruiser. And in this game, they are quite powerful. So I just got to watch out for that. I could get something to EMP it. That way I don't lose it again. But, yeah, we're not doing too bad. Okay, Roar Blaster is currently leading. I'm not doing bad. Middle of the road right now. So I'm pretty happy with how this is going. I just got to make sure to not take any bad fights. Like they're starting to move up the ramp, and he's coming as well. I'm just going to back up. In a second, I can get Lancers. So they're the same thing as a Stalker. They're a little bit better in every way. They have more range. They have more attack. More armor. More health. They just are very good units. So he got a Thor as well. And with my blink, I'm going to actually stop spawning my stalkers. Pardon me. I'm going to stop spawning my Marines in maybe 5 minutes or something like that. And then just get a big army of stalkers and lancers. So I'm going to try to micro these back a little bit here, just so I can take a better engagement. Wow, that guy is just going all the way out. And if I blink these back here, take a decent trade. I think this is still worth it for us. Though actually that guy's zealots provided quite a buffer for his other units, so he took a decent trade. Though he did lose quite a bit, so we're doing decent as a team right now. And it looks like this is gonna be a pretty good game, guys, for us, which I'm pretty happy about. Usually there'll be like a team of good players. I'm from the clan 1DF. So if I play with another 1DF player, then we'll usually have an advantage over other teams because we've played together before, and we're just both decent players. I'm not saying we're the best ever, but we know what we're doing a little bit. So I might be able to get his med back there. Yes, that was a nice snipe. So I got 150 minerals from that, and that was an elite unit. So you can get, I think there's like 7 or 8 different heroes you can get, and there's probably like 15 elites. Your heroes you can get from right here in your command center, actually 9. And they are a good investment. If you notice here, he has 112 kills. None of my units have close to that. Though you're investing it's kind of like putting a lot of your eggs in one basket. So you're investing in a very powerful unit, which is good. However, if that unit dies, your army by itself will not be very good. In addition to that, you're choosing to, your other units will suffer in their upgrades because you're spending so much money on one unit. And it's also a possibility for other people to feed on you. So for instance, if this guy builds a Thor and sends it over to me, and I just kill it, I'm going to get over 300 minerals, and then he just spent 750 minerals for almost nothing. Now, luckily how they do it in this game, you don't have to spend 750 minerals every time you rebuild a hero. It'll only cost about half as much to rebuild it again, which is just a good way of doing it. It makes it more worth it for you to actually invest in the hero. Elite units, though, are a lot more costly because you have to spend the same amount every single time you want to buy it. So I killed that guy's medevac a minute ago, and these Banshees as well. They're also elite units. And they cost you 1,500 minerals, 250 minerals. And if I kill it, then he's going to have to spend 250 minerals again. So I actually played a game last night, and the guy, he was going kind of mass elite. He just kept building all these elite units, which made his army very powerful. Again, he had a lot of DPS. He probably had 8 or 9 of those units. So that, with his army in a small area, had a very high DPS. But my friend got a infestor and upgraded it to a queen fester, which did a fungal growth, which would kind of do a lot of damage and stop units in a pretty big area. So again, he had all these elites clumped in a small area, and they all died. And then it cost him thousands of minerals to keep replacing them, and then we were able to slowly get an advantage and win. Yeah, I think so. We'll maybe go fester later. We'll see. So right now, I'm just choosing to upgrade my stalkers at this point. I did stop spawning my marines because I'm getting enough lancers that they are a sizable enough army by themselves. And since they have blink and my marines don't, really the stalkers work better by themselves at this point. Later on in the game, I might start upgrading my marines again, just because they have a good DPS. But at this point, I'm just going to try to use my stalkers and their mobility and get as good as an engagement as I can. Now, I kind of caught him out in the open, and my units do quite a bit of damage. So, okay, now he's coming back. That was pretty good. I was able to use my blink and kind of catch good engagement. Oh, dang it. So if you notice, that guy has a, that's called a Mando or Commando, and that does a lot of damage. Oh, almost got him. It has its main ability. It does a decent normal attack, but the main reason you get it is to counter heroic units. So it does a lot of damage to one target. You can upgrade the Commando into something called a Spectre, which does a ridiculous amount of damage to one target. It'll basically kill any unit in the game. It does like 6,000 or 7,000 damage. It also has a stun ability, which is very nice when you're in a choke like this. So it'll stun maybe about that many units at once. So again, if I'm taking an engagement, all my units will be firing at once. Only a portion of his will. The units not firing in the back or trying to move to the front. It just works out quite well. So that's a good late game unit to get. At this point, I'm just going to work with my stalkers. Again, they give me a lot of mobility. If they're out of my opponent's guys are out of position, I can just kind of jump and take advantage of that. So I'm just going to stay and upgrade these for a while. This game is pretty close. I would say no team is really ahead of the others. Our team is about tied for first right now, but a couple hundred at this point in the game isn't that much. Oh, okay. He's trying to be sneaky. He just burrowed all of his there, but I saw him burrow that, so I'm just going to come, try to kill a few guys here. And oh, that guy quit. That's why. So I was wondering why he had such a slow response, but that guy just quit the game. Someone may have killed his Thor. That's part of the reason. Again, heroes are good, but they're a big investment, so if you lose it early on in the game like this, there's sometimes people just quit because it's hard to get back. And I want to fight this guy right now because I can just keep blinking my stalkers back and keep... Okay, here he comes. I'm going to fight. I'm just going to move back a little bit, and I'm just going to blink, 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 blink. Keep blinking back. And I'll be able to kill a lot of his army. I am losing some stalkers, but and I'm going to do a big blink here. But I'm losing significantly less guys than I am killing. And as you can see, I'm about 1,000 bounty ahead of him, so we're doing pretty good. I have about 1,000 minerals. I'm going to spend some of that money now. Okay, so now I have Lancers. I have +6 attack. At this point, when you have +6 attack of either your Marines or your Mercenaries, you can choose to get an additional spawn rate. So which is just good. I'm not going my Marines, so my army takes a little bit to make. It's a strong army, but again, it's if I lost this entire army, it would take a while to get it again. So at this point, I'm going to try to get that spawn rate so that my army spawns a little bit faster. And okay, I'm going to wait till I blink, and I'm just going to come and pounce on this army. So I'm pretty sure I counter him a little bit. Yeah, I do an additional versus biological. So my Lancers are going to trade pretty well versus his, what are they called? Brutalisks. Even if we're similarly upgraded, I should be able to take a better fight versus him every single time. So that's something you want to be looking out for too. If you're playing a game, say you're a little bit behind, then you just want to start fighting guys where, okay. Good. I was able to get one of his Banshees there. So that was 150 minerals right in that one unit. And also when you play this game, part of what separates a decent player from a really good player, like I'm not being boastful, I'm a good player. I'm solidly good. I've played this game for on and off for a few years. So I know what to do versus most units. I know what units counter which, and just kind of how to take fights. I'm not the best, but I'm pretty good. Some really good players, part of what makes them really good is just when and where they choose to fight. So really, a really good player, the units aren't going to spawn faster. They're not going to be able to like insanely micro. If we're fighting here, there's not that much you can do. Our units are we're just A-moving our units versus each other. However, for instance, this one player, Black, he's one of the better players in the game. Not the best, he's just a good player. He is very good at trying to find the not as good people and just consistently fight them. Because he'll take slightly better engagements versus that player because they're not as good. Maybe they're not as skilled in what they can do. So he'll just fight them. He won't fight the good players, and then he'll just slowly feed. So, for instance, right now, Jay, the yellow guy here, Jay Califia, he's doing okay, but he's definitely behind everybody else, so he's just not as skilled of a player. And this is when I would press the advantage versus him and just fight him. I wouldn't necessarily fight Confident down here, who's doing very well. I would just keep fighting the not as good players. That way, my bounty gets higher, and then when my units are stronger, I'll try to take engagements versus the better players. And that's how you really want to think of this game. You want to think about how can you feed in the sense of slowly picking off their units. How can you get the best engagements, trade your units away as good as you can to get the winning bounty. As you can see, I'm winning right now. Nice job, mate. We are... Oops, that's not how you spell mate. We are doing this. Okay, I'm going to keep upgrading these Lancers a little bit here. There we go. 2-6. Okay, I'm going to help my friend down here. So he chose to get Goliath. That's a good choice. They actually counter Stalkers. I think it's the nature of the attack, and they're more armored. Armored units, they have more hit points than me initially. Yeah. Yeah, so he's just commenting that we're doing good, even though we're versus very good teams. These guys down here were quite good. And I'll just keep fighting here. I can blink, so I want to be careful, but I will take a pretty good... Okay, so he was just moving on the ramp, and they were going to have a very good concave versus me, so this is when I move back. Try to get my units out of there, and yeah, we're doing fine. I've been liking going Lancers. Positioning is nice. So again, I just commenting about the positioning and blink, and it's just a way to catch your opponent when they're making mistakes. So they're moving out. If I can, let me see here, how many units does he have? I'm just gonna blink on him. So he counters me, and I kind of walked into him, but since I had significantly more units, it was worth it. Ha ha ha. Lol. Exactly. Boom! So I just got 400 minerals from that battle cruiser. I just crushed that guy's army, and as you can see, this is starting to scale. My upgrades are better than everybody else because I have more money, and because my upgrades are better, I'm going to take better fights versus everybody as well. So, at a certain point, it can scale. Like, if I'm playing against someone, even if, say, we're about the same skill level, if his troops are better, there's just really no way for me to, still win the game, just because, again, you're just taking fights, and if you can't win the fight, you lose the game. Wow, I have 2,000 minerals. I'm going to try to spend some of this here. Let's get another attack, another armor, a couple more health. Again, I am blinking on people, so I do want to have some armor, not just attack. One more attack. Let's see, 390. I'm going to get one more health, one more armor. But I don't know. Usually at this point, I'd think about transitioning a little bit. Lancers are very good, but as the game goes on, it's hard just to win by having one unit in and of itself. Usually I'll get these in Marines. Part of the reason you get Marines, even though they're weak, you can upgrade them a lot, and all of these upgrades affect Marines. So there are a lot of very good upgrades that you can get just to bolster your Marines up. You can get Blink. You can get something that actually you dodge a lot of attacks. So, it's just, they're a good unit to get. Even if you don't go initially, it is usually worth getting them later on in the game. Because as the game goes on, it's just, again, you have a smaller army since you're not getting the Marines as well. So, it's just a good thing to keep in mind. Okay, he's coming across the map now. I think he's trying to catch us off guard a little bit. But I have enough units here to deal with him. Shouldn't be too much of a problem. So again, you can go, you get your mercenary, you have your marines. I talked about heroes a little bit. There's a couple heroes that are really good, a really good late game unit that just helps you trade well versus people. So that would be the commando, upgrading it's the Spectre, which I talked about a little bit. It can snipe, it has a stun ability about this much. It just really helps your engagement with your army. And there's also the Infestor, and you can read it here. The Infestor is a fragile caster hero capable of evolving into the powerful Queen Fester. Uses Bane Bombs to kill armies of units or fungal growth to slow them. Can move while burrowing. So the power of them is when you save up their energy, you can just throw again those Bane Bombs on top of people and just completely annihilate their army before your armies have even fought. So your whole army could still be alive, and you could kill it with the Infestor after you've upgraded it. And it can upgrade to the Queen Fester, which does a fungal growth about this big, and it will kill most units in 2 fungal growths. So I'll have times that, say for instance, if I'm not trading well, say I'm behind, I start pushing for that Queen Fester, and I can buy it, and then I'll just demolish other people's armies. So again, guys, if you have played before, just post in the comments below what army you want me to go. This is kind of my go-to lately, but if you want me to do something different, if you want me to go like a Dark Templar, do kind of a different army style, I'm definitely willing to do that. So I'm going to take this fight here. Okay. And we just lost everything, which I could kind of see that coming. So what he did right there, he just used something called an Infested Savior. And everybody has one of those. And as you can see, it can kill your entire army. It doesn't really matter how strong your army is, how much armor. It does a ridiculous amount of damage, and it can completely mow down armies. So we took a little risk walking all of our army into there. I thought it was worth it because they had a lot of troops. Normally, like for instance, if they didn't have many troops, I walked my army in, they know that they would lose. I would be able to kill their command center, their merc building, if they didn't savior. But they made the right choice of just savioring right away. That way they were able to keep their armies alive, but still kill all of ours.